Dr. George Moricz here. Why are regular traditional doctors' tools becoming more useless and possibly even misleading? That's right. This can be very frustrating, especially if you're trying to lose weight. You think you're trying to lose weight, but really what you're saying is you're trying to lose fat, okay? And then what happens is when you come off these diets, and there's 70,000 of them, 3 to 4 months later, not only do you gain back weight, you're gaining back fat. But in essence, you've already lost muscle. And this is the thing that you need to know up front. Let me lead by way of example. Imagine this: Arnold Schwarzenegger goes to try to get traditional life insurance. So they put him on a certain scale. They measure his weight, they calculate what's called body mass index. That's the volume, okay? Think of it as kind of assessing weight based on volume. But it doesn't tell you what the volume is made up of. Think about this. If you were to dehydrate someone, then they would lose water weight and decrease their weight. So Arnold Schwarzenegger can't get life insurance because according to the BMI, the insurance tables, he's too big, okay? So we know that that's not quite right. But when you do what's called a body composition, not a BMI, but a body composition, what you realize is that he's got a lot of muscle and very low fat. Let me lead by way of example. So in this printout, okay, and it's not meant to be complicated, it's not meant to impress you in any way, but impress upon you the type of tools that you can readily avail yourself of, as well as a doctor who can help interpret it with a plan, okay? Not just tell you, here's more information. You can Google everything, but Google University doesn't get you results. So look in the upper left-hand corner where it says body mass index. So I'll show you this could be very frustrating for this 54-year-old client. He is in the overweight category, okay? Now, when you look at fat mass percentage, body fat, he's 11%. Ideally for men, you want him in the teens. If you can get it in the 10 to 15% range, great. For women, somewhere between 20 and 25. I would prefer 20, and there's other reasons for it. And then at the bottom, on the bottom left, it shows that he has 99% percentile skeletal muscle mass in his age group. Now, this is the problem. When you go for lab work, doctors tell you you are in the normal range, but then they leave out for your age group, which is a cluster, a calculation based on 95% of unhealthy people in your age group. In other words, if you've gone for a class reunion, take all those people and then average all these unhealthy people together, and you're saying normal, okay? You're a C- if you're getting a report card. Well, you don't want to be there. If you were to take this 99% and based it on a 25-year-old algorithm, not a 54, 55-year-old, he'd probably be a little bit above average or in the middle. So remember, what is your doctor trying to tune you to? The average population? When you go to CVS or Walgreens, stand in line as people pick up buckets of medication, it said, is that what you want to be? And if you do, that's okay. But understand, you're being told that you're normal for your average of your unhealthy age group. Back to our example earlier of Arnold Schwarzenegger. So he has a lot of muscle. He is low in fat. What is another way to look at that? Well, look at the next graph, okay? And there's a couple colors that I'll lead you through. Look at the top one with the blue line. That shows weight, okay? I haven't mentioned much about weight because it's not the whole deal, okay? I'm not saying that you could have a lot of weight on you and it wouldn't be fat, okay? I didn't say that. But let's just say we forget about the weight portion right now. Then you look 2 lines down and it shows body fat mass. But why this graph is interesting, if you're looking at the top, it goes over what they're calculating normal range, but then the body fat mass is much underneath it. So the bar graph at the top goes over the normal range, but it's under on the body fat. That's what you want. It's not the whole story. So what you do is in between it is a line that says skeletal muscle mass, okay? And I highlighted there in red. And you notice how much greater than the average, okay, we're just using the word average it is, and that's what I'm here to talk with you about today, okay? So fat may be your largest hormonal organ, okay, and it has a lot of negatives. This is what spews out these chemicals called cytokines. That's why people had so much trouble during COVID, is because they were already inflamed. That's why a lot of people at a certain body fat level, they get more cancers. They also have higher blood pressure, so your body's inflamed, okay? It's like all flared up. Muscle, however, may be one of the most important organs. Metabolically, it churns up calories even when you sleep. It may protect you when you eat something that you shouldn't. I've always told you, don't eat refined foods, okay? Don't eat these table sugar added type foods. Don't drink alcohol. Why? Because these are sources of shutting down your energy production called mitochondria. It blocks it. So this is a way to age yourself. But muscle can take up a lot of these unnecessary sugars. So someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger, by example, he could have part of a cake and his blood sugars are more stable. His insulin doesn't have to kick in as much. Most of us, especially as we move on in life, we lose muscle. One of the hallmarks of aging, going back to this graph, is you lose muscle, you gain fat, okay, and you become more dehydrated. And there's hormonal and peptide reasons for that, and that's what I do when I tune my clients. So muscle being so important, you really don't want to lose it. And as a relevant example, these Ozempic type medicines, these what we call GLP-1s, and they have a newer ones that are GIP medicines. The terminology is once again not here to impress you, but there are these categories of medicines which you do make these natural chemicals in your body, but not at the excessive doses that are being administered in all these flyby clinics, all these weight loss promise, oh, you take this shot forever and so forth. What's being noticed is they actually lose muscle. So when you go to your anti-aging weight management specialist, someone that you entrust, they not only measure these parameters, but they figure out how to maintain your muscle mass. So that's one of your discussions. How do we maintain muscle? And I don't mean just diet, exercise, and eat more protein. I'm saying, how do you tune that person so in the long run that you don't need to be on these weight loss forever medicines, and especially these shots. So what have we talked about today? We've talked about how important it is to know your body fat percentage. That is important. Also have an assessment of your muscle mass. You wanting your muscle mass to be on the higher end and body fat to be on the lower end. And as you do lose fat, you will have some changes in weight, but to be sure that you're maintaining muscle as you lose fat. Most people who go on some kind of a diet, what have they done? They've removed the junk out of their diet. That's why they may actually improve. The problem is they're also losing muscle as well as fat, and that's what we don't want to do. This is Dr. George Moricz today discussing why traditional regular doctor's tools are not only becoming useless but misleading. On a positive note, there is a way to get these type of assessments and have someone work with you to help you along the way. Thank you again.